All right, guys, I'm driving here and want to give a little bit of information, something that I talk about all the time, about what it takes. And on the surface, I think people see the videos, they think we just train wrestlers, and the blueprint to succeeding as an athlete, as a human, it's very much the same. And I think people are so caught up now in what is convenient, what gym is close enough, what sport club is close enough. I don't know what to do. Somebody tell me what to do. Who's the cheapest? Who's got a discount? And that's just not the way to becoming good, let alone great. And today marks the beginning of the end for a lot of wrestlers. Today was the district tournament. Some make it to the regions, some do not. Some care, some don't. And you have to do things on your own. I put up a blog post on the undergroundstrengthgym.com website, and there's a video on there, and I started it at the exact point where this one wrestler starts talking about how he trained when he was younger, when he was in high school. And those were the days when there were not wrestling clubs. So he found out other ways to train, such as riding his bike for far distances to go fishing, morning or before and after school, doing some hiking, 2-3 miles, carrying gear, because him and his family were trappers. They would go hunting. He did manual labor. And nowadays, it's quite interesting that kids are basically lost. They don't know what to do unless the coach tells them what to do, when really the answers are everywhere. The things I tell athletes are the very things I tell my own kids. My daughter, who loves tennis, I told her, you have to stop waiting to go to the tennis club, the tennis this or that, and you need to go and ride your bike to the tennis courts and challenge other people to play against you. You have to go and do what's called street tennis. Back in my day and way before that, basketball players did this. It was called street ball. Athletes, all of us, did pickup games of football, kill the man with the ball. We did things that made us better athletes on our own. And we're so backwards nowadays. If you don't know the story, the town I live in, the town that my one gym is in, complained that we were playing ultimate football. I'm talking 6, sometimes 8 kids playing ultimate football for 10 minutes, sometimes not even in a desolate park where nobody is playing. People need to stop being sensitive about the fact that when a coach tells you to work harder, to get tougher, to show up early, to stay after late, stop saying my coach is mean. Stop shutting down and toughen up. Jocko Willink always says, how do you stop, coming up with excuses? You stop. That's it. You stop doing the excuses. You stop complaining. You stop blaming. And you take responsibility and accountability. It's very frustrating to see the lack of work ethic. And it's probably been the worst I've ever seen in the past 5 years. When I opened up this location in Manasquan, the first thing that hit me was, I still do the trial workout, but I think I've gotten too soft. And I'm not even old, but in my older years, I saw a kid, he went to take a water break, and then he was like ducking down behind the desk, checking his phone. Kids today, every 2 minutes, they do a set and then they go to get a drink. They're not really getting a drink. They have to touch their phone. They gotta, who sent me a message? Block everything out for the hour and destroy everything. Destroy the weight room. Fridays, which is Max Out Friday, is desolate in our gym. Because you know what kids say? Oh, Fridays for me and my bros, for me and my boys. It's like, okay, then you're just gonna be average. I had a mom email me and tell me she just could not tolerate hearing her son complaining every time they were going to the gym. He would get into a fight with her because he actually didn't want to train. He just didn't want to do it. These things never even entered my mind in my younger years that something was too hard. In fact, I had no clue that we had choices to deny the opportunity to get better. I had no clue that we could just give up, quit, and be average. And I used to think that if kids were not, getting after it and attacking, that their parents were just letting them slide. But it's really not so. There's a lot of great parents out there giving their kids the opportunity to work hard, to get strong, tough, fast, to get better. And the kids don't take it. And that's the problem right there, is we've given them so many opportunities. There's so many coaching facilities everywhere. Baseball here, football for the offensive and defensive linemen here, football for the receivers. It is exactly, we're paying people for the very things that we did as children. It really frustrates me, and I'm actually torn with owning a private facility, because kids, they don't even know how to do a barbell curl. They don't know how to do the most basic things like curls and push-ups, things that we all did before we knew anything. It was always push-ups, curls, and go out and run. Take a look around. Drive through the neighborhoods. How many kids are outside running on their own? None. How many kids are at the local park playing hard pickup basketball, playing a game of tackle football? Very, very few. It's really disheartening, and everything is controlled. Everything is only do this with your coach. High school coach says mandatory weight room. Then you got to go to your independent strength coach, and that's why I almost think like it's ridiculous. But then kids go to the gym, and then they hurt themselves at the gym. Doing what? Well, I went too heavy, and I didn't do the full range, and I didn't have a spotter, and this or that. Hey, make the rep or die. Figure out a way. I see some of the athletes I used to work with. They live close by. They're watching these videos, and they can't even show up once a week. They can't even ride their bike. It's so disappointing, because everybody has talent and potential, but who has the discipline? Who has the work ethic? When I first joined a gym, it was the Metuchen YMCA. I lived in Edison. I'd ride a couple of miles through the back streets, cutting through roads, the sides of highways, to get to the Metuchen YMCA. I would train my face off to the point where it was difficult to pedal my bike home. I remember pushing my bike up the hill to get back home, and that feeling of having legs that were destroyed and sore was the very feeling I knew telling me I did it right. But now what do we have? We even have college kids that are afraid to be sore. You're afraid to be sore. I've never heard such bullshit. We have kids getting rhabdo who are in the Division I football or Division I multiple sports. Guys, when I was a sophomore, the summer before junior year, finished my sophomore year, I was 15 years old. I knew there was no gym in town, so guess what I did? 50 sets of back squats, and I was fine. I didn't call 911. I didn't have to go to the hospital, nothing. My parents would drop me off at the gym, and then they would go food shopping or whatever they had to do. And I remember once they didn't come back, so I went inside, and I just said, I'm going to pedal the bike until I do a marathon. I had already finished a workout that probably took me an hour and a half, and then I spent however long it took me to pedal 26.2 miles. I remember that. Another great story. We went on vacation. I'm actually driving this way. My dad's friend had a beach house somewhere down the shore, and I remember the gym in Edison had another location in Bayville. I went to Bayville, and this is on my summer vacation. I did legs, did the whole leg workout, squat, leg press, hack squat, leg extension, leg curl, calves, crushed it. Go outside, waited 10-15 minutes, parents weren't there. Went back inside, chest and back, trained an hour and a half. Went outside, mom and dad still not picking me up. They were at the beach and going out to eat and having a good old time. Still no ride. Go inside, shoulders and arms. I think I trained 6 hours that day. And they finally picked me up. The days of no cell phone. My dad didn't say, hey, sorry I'm late. I didn't even ask them, hey, where were you? I loved it. I loved the fact that I got to train more. Not only that, this is on my vacation. Let me tell you another story about a vacation. When I was training guys out of my house up in Edison, the early crew, the original underground strength wrecking crew, these guys were hammers. They did not make it out of the districts. Well, the next year, the off season, they trained their face off. Jimmy Bashada was in LBI on vacation. He drove up to Edison twice that week, 2 or 2.5 hours each way to come and go through a hellish workout. He came up to Edison, destroyed him in the summer heat, 90 plus degrees, then he drove back. So 2.5 hours, train for an hour, drive home, 5, 6, we're talking about his whole day right there. That was his vacation. Jimmy qualified for the States the next year. Think about that. He doesn't make it out of the district, then he goes to the States. Senior year, second in the state. You know, the shortcut is the work. A lot of people out there need to stop being so soft, need to stop crying and whining and acting like they're special snowflakes, and do the work. It's disheartening and disappointing to see how many athletes are satisfied with being good. And mom and dad, this is what I tell you. If your son is being soft, you put him in the car and drop him off, and sometimes we need to force them to step it up, to do some work, to get their hands dirty. I mean, I think 1 out of 20 kids I know in high school have an actual job. That's insane. I was a busboy in 6th grade at the age of 11, working till 11:30, midnight. I thought that was normal, and that wasn't even my first job. I had already had multiple paper routes, and when I had my bike stolen, I got a second paper route, one before school, one after school. The work is the gift. The shortcut is by working harder and outworking the competition. And listen, if your coach stinks, and there are coaches out there that they're failing these kids, they've got like a 25% winning percentage. That's failing. Once you're in the 68%, you have failed. If they are that low in the winning percentages, well, you need to go and find a place to get better. And if you can't find a place, what's stopping you from sprinting to the playground, doing 100 push-ups, doing sprints, putting ankle weights on and running with your ankle weights? What's stopping you from doing pull-ups? What's stopping you from buying used weights on Craigslist and training in your garage? Go buy the Encyclopedia of Underground Strength. Do the workouts. Make the equipment. I don't have that equipment. I don't have the time. I don't know how. The only thing a lot of people seem to know how to do is have excuses and sit on their phone. And that's enough time on this stupid phone. I'm disappointed in people. People got to work harder, complain less, and get tough. That's it. Shut your mouth and do some work. That's it. How complicated is that?